Once it was back in place, I didn't need pain-killing medication. It was a voice. It was a voice saying, I need a bit more help here. I'm not against doctors. I think most doctors are ethical, but it's the system. And unfortunately today, the pharmaceutical company holds a large piece of the pie in what doctors are taught. You could go to university in the mid-1850s and come out with a qualification of a doctor of medicine, having never studied drugs. How nice would that be? You see, looking at the history of the planet, drug medication is fairly recent. I was a child, born in the 50s, and I was taught that when I get sick, I go to the doctor and get a drug and come home and I get better. And I never questioned that. It's time to question. And it wasn't until I saw my mother, over 6 years, become a cripple in a wheelchair with rheumatoid arthritis. Her hands were like this. Her body was all deformed, and we'd gone every doctor, every specialist, every drug you can think of, every operation you think of, and at 51 she died. Do you know what we still said? They did the best they could. Well, do you know it's true? They did the best they could because that's all they know. The system is not what I'm in support of, because drugs are like robots. Robots say, get out of my way, I got a job to do, whether you need it or not. As you will discover, if you're on pain-killing medication, it just masks. And when the pain-killing medication eases off, what happens? The pain comes back again. And what you'll also discover, if you're on blood-thinning medication and you start to take a herb that thins the blood, I think a lot of you might know what I'm going to say next, cayenne pepper. That blood can get too thin. Not because of the cayenne pepper, but because of the medication. And so as I said to one man, you got to keep, if you're going to stay on your meds and start the cayenne pepper, you might need to be monitored because your blood's going to get so thin. In fact, it did, and the doctor said, you've got to stop doing what you're doing because your blood's getting too thin. I said, what about stopping the medication? Because remember what the drugs do. They say, I've got a job to do whether you need it or not. But that beautiful verse in the Bible, I believe the Bible is the best medical book we've got. And you will discover that as we go through this week. Yes, it's all there. Because the Bible says in Psalm 104, verse 14, God gave herbs for the service of man. I love that description because that's what they do. They come in to serve you. So yes, cayenne pepper will thin the blood, but if you're on blood thinning medication, and the blood gets thinner, it's just going to keep thinning the blood. There's a book called Back to Eden. You might be familiar with it. It's called The Bible on Herbs. It was written in about the early 1900s. This author, Jethro Kloss, he devotes half a page to every herb, but he devotes 10 pages to cayenne pepper. I think he likes it.